Okay, so we've nearly got our final detail of the skirt done. There's just one more little detail I'd like to add, and that's just the overlocked stitches that run along here and along here. Remember, we also need to just add in this one bit of stitching here. So I'm going to show you how to do the overlock stitching. So we need to look carefully just to see how it's made up. You kind of see that it's a continuous wavy line, but its most basic form is kind of this sort of curvy U-shaped. So we're just going to create that. Select a nice bright colour for your stroke, and just using the pen tool and clicking Shift and drag. Just going to slowly create this shape. And again, just play around with the shape until I'm doing half of it. I'm going to mirror that to produce the second half in a short while. Just keep playing around with that until you get what you think is a shape that could work. Option Shift drag, and I'm just going to mirror that. Drag it over and lock that into place. Yeah, that's better. Lock that into place and just join those two. So that's our basic shape, which is the U shape you see in the overlock stitch. So this stitching is white, so we're going to need to colour this stroke white. And actually just boost that stroke up a little bit. Let's make it 3 point. So that stroke is now a 3-point white stroke. We need to now go to Window and select Brushes. Then click on this New Brush button here. Select Pattern Brush. OK. And press OK again. And what we've actually created is a new brush which is going to feature our design that we've selected. So to show you how that works, let's draw a line. Let's just draw one straight line from here to across here. And let's double click on our new brush, which is in the brush panel. And you'll see we've got this overlocked stitch. A little bit big at the moment. So what we want to do is double click on our new stitch that we've created. 2 clicks. Make sure your preview selection is selected. And we've got a scale tool here. So what we can do with that stroke selected, we can just scale that and just bring that down to the size we think will work. It's probably about there. Click OK. If this dialog box comes up, just say Apply to Stroke. Yeah, and that's our first overlock. And the other one we want to add in just goes straight across underneath there. So let's draw another straight line here. And roughly goes across about here. Double click. And we have our second overlocked line. We can just go back and adjust the length of these strokes, just so they're not overlapping anything. And just make sure the right shapes are sitting on top of that. So if you bring these shapes to the front, you have that overlock shape just going in right at the back there. So apart from the overlock, also on those seams are just a stitch going across the top. So we can even add in just selecting a white stroke. Click on your stroke panel, dash line, and that's been set up from the last dash line that we did. So that looks pretty good. And let's draw just one more straight line across here, and then we get another stitch. And the last stitch is just this one that's attaching the backing of the zip to the skirt. So we know our shapes around here. So we can start to now draw a curved line that follows the edge of that stitch. Remove the fill, give that a white stroke. Make sure our stroke panel is selected, is highlighted, and click on dash line. A slightly bigger stitches used here, so let's play around with the size of the dash. Maybe it's a 4 dash and a 2 gap. Looks a bit thick at the moment. Again, just bring that down to maybe 0.5 and go back and adjust all these. If you find that there's too much black and maybe it's blending into another shape, you can always just give the black, maybe just make it a 95 or a 96. And by doing that, you don't get everything the same colour. Maybe it's a 90. It also helps you see certain areas. So we can just adjust that stitching a little bit to be closer to the edge of the zip. We can adjust our overlock. We can adjust all our stitching. Great, so that's about it. One last thing is it'll be nice just to put just a black circle around everything. So roughly draw your circle, and then you can adjust that. Remember to always press Shift just so the circle is a circle and not an oval. So just draw the circle on top of that. Adjust accordingly. Yeah, so there we have the detail of our skirt.